Good morning and welcome to the program Perspectives on Invicta 98.9. This morning we're taking on a very special event that happened over the weekend, and Nigerians all over are hailing the process. That's the dissolvement of the special anti-robbery squad, SIRS, that Nigerians have come to know. Now, it's been dissolved, but there are memories to take away, and there are things to talk about. The divide of this country, it has showed that we are not a united people. While some regions are saying that yes, they fought for it, they went for it, and of course lives were lost, other regions are saying that they are not part of it. Now, let's talk about the implication of these to the unity of Nigeria. My guest this morning is Lawrence Obewe. Lawrence Obewe is the convener of Reset Nigeria. He is also a public affairs analyst. Lawrence Obewe, good morning and glad to have you here with us.
Good morning, Mr. Toyin. Good morning, listeners.
SARS has been dissolved and Nigerians are jubilating at it. It was, a battle that was fought, and of course at the end of it, the people's, opinion prevailed. And so we have SARS coming to an end. But to take another shape, what shape it will take, again, now we are just waiting for it, because again, officers and men involved have been told that they will be, put into another unit. Nigerians still suspicious of that. But let's talk about the country as a whole, what this has presented to the country. A suspicion and the divide, the fault lines of Nigerians are beginning to show glaringly in what happened over the weekend. Your thoughts and general overview on this.
Well, thank you for having me on. Thank you, listeners, for joining us. I think that over the weekend, Nigeria averted what perhaps would have been one of the biggest revolutions ever known in the world. If you look at the trajectory that it took last week and what is about to take this week, I think the government sensed it and saw the need to quash it. But talking about the fault lines, I think that it's become a tradition for our politicians to look for what to use to divide us. Try to rally people onto sentiments, hoping that it will divide us. But I don't think that this really went a long way. I think it was a poorly orchestrated tactics, and Nigerians rejected it.
Again, some people would say this, would take us back to, the founding days of Nigeria. That again, it really showed that when one region was ready for independence, another was not ready, and so we had to, meet at a time that was like convenient, for all. But again, what is playing out? Could this be what to expect in the restructuring that we're talking about?
I think that we must also give credit to the different segments of the country. You do not usually expect that everybody behaves the same way. Level of orientation, diverse cultures and religion play roles in this kind of narratives. But I think that for the first time, I was active on Twitter throughout the time, and you could see even the people you think that were not bothered tweeting about it. But I think that majorly it was just a ploy by the political class to try to find a divide, because it was something heating up and they were seeing the movement coming. So they needed to do something very quickly to make sure that they dissolve it. But as I said before, I don't think it worked. Going forward, I think there is also something that everybody has to look at. If you look at what the problem is the SARS. It affects almost every region. The magnitude in the south might not be the same in the north, but you cannot say that it's not in the north. I have lived in Kaduna for over 12 years, and I know that they terrorize here as much as they terrorize every other place. I have traveled, I've been privileged to travel around the country, and I think that everywhere you go is the same story. Then if you look at the narrative, you also find a little justification if some people are feeling that, hey, we don't understand what you're doing. If you're coming, for instance, from Lagos and you're going to Sokoto, from Lagos to, let's say, Lokoja, you meet over 40 different checkpoints with this act. Once you cross Lokoja and you're going to Sokoto, you're probably never going to meet any other one, or at the most you meet one. So if people are feeling that, what are you talking about, we do not understand it, sometimes you also need to give credence to that. But I think it's a rallying call for all Nigerian youth. If you look at this movement, it was generic. It was not something that you say this person funded it or not. It was people showing their anger. And if you look at a country with over 40 million unemployed youths, people who are able-bodied but cannot find anything to do, venting their anger against the government was easy. you didn't need any coercion for people to come.
The Arab Spring was like beginning to show, or it showed in all of this.
Of course, and that's why I started by saying that the government averted something that would have been one of the biggest revolutions in the world, because by tomorrow it would have been worse. I don't know whether it's over, because we have had consistently these directives, this banning, and nothing has worked. We lived in a system, and we must point out that what is ailing us is not just the police system, it's not just the SARS. It's recruitment in public service. Don't forget that the vice president has disbanded this SARS before as acting president when the president was away on medical leave. Don't forget that the IG on 3 occasions have tried to reshape this SARS. But where public servants give directives to their subordinates and they are not taken, and no punitive, no consequences for that disregard for authority, you begin to see something. I don't know how you explain public servants going about with POS to extort citizens. That's abnormal. That's insensitive. It can only happen in a country like Nigeria. If you look at even what it generated around the world, everybody had a say. All the youths all around the world for the first time came around and supported Nigeria. So it's not something you can look at and say is a one-off thing. And I think the danger is the fact that this has shown that the government, the public service servants can no longer take the citizens for granted. It's now showing that the people have power, and they have seen it, they have tested it. So it's now for government to be very careful how they deal with citizens.
Let's talk about the police in all of this. Now, the police that we once knew was that the police with the slogan, "The police is your friend." And over the years, that's changed. And the Nigerians were, always, suspicious of the police. And then you talk about the police recruitment. They are people from the society too. They're part of us. So what's changed, in this recruitment process, and how the police turn out to behave to their citizens?
I think what the people we see wearing uniform is reflective of what you see in the society. Who are we? Who are you, Tony? Who am I? If you go around Nigeria and ask people, who are they? We are people who are insincere. So we can cast aspersion, we can point fingers at the police, but it's just a reflection of what is there in the society. How do you recruit people? If you look at the police recruitment system, they will tell you have to get recommendations from a traditional ruler, a chief, a professor, or that, a civil servant highly ranked. And you ask yourself, who are these people? Most of our traditional rulers are people with criminal records. Most of our politicians who are supposed to endorse this thing, a serving senator stood up on the floor of the house and accused his members that most of the people that he's seeing here were people he prosecuted as a former DIG of police. So it's a reflection of the society. So when you say you must get a top politician to sign for you, you must have a traditional ruler to sign for you, people you are getting are people who have struck an accord. You are not supposed to be there, but since you say I'm going to sign it for you for so and so return. And if you look at the rot in the system, I don't think it's started now. And I think it was a mistake that the Buhari administration, they saw it as an affront on the Buhari administration. No, it was an affront on the system that is collapsing in Nigeria. So it is something that has degenerated over time. Who is SARS? Who is SARS? What are they doing? Now, you have a body that is created specifically for intelligence and dealing with crime. That are now going, and if you look, it's not the same thing. You see, what do you call the other DSS? They wear uniform with DSS, bullying scripted on their uniform. Meanwhile, it's supposed to be a secret police. So how do you know? You are sitting down with the DSS who has identified himself. So how does he do his job secretly? So is the institution that we've been bequeathed, but is that same institution that we must solve. We are not going to go to sleep and say Nigeria is a praying nation, but prayer has never solved our problem. And for the first time, you see, we stopped prayer and demanded of the government, and you have seen the consequences. So we must continue to demand. So it's not something that has just happened. First of all, we talked about the welfare of police. They've not been adequately taken care of. But again, who among the public servants has been taken care of? So it's a system. So you have the police service commission who's supposed to check the activities of police, but should be funded by the IG. So, and the SARS menace, the police menace, the police brutality is an organized crime. I can give instances. Government reports, the one set up by acting president, the last time he disbanded, found out that a man's vehicle was confiscated by these members of SARS. The man went for it. They intimidated him until he left. When government set up the panel, the man came forward and made his report. He was investigated and found out that the car that was seized from this man in Benue State was being driven by the wife of a deputy commissioner of police. So it's an organized crime. The hierarchy cannot say that they are ignorant of it. No. I have gone into many cases of SARS, both in Kaduna and outside Kaduna. I had a case where somebody lost 2 mobile phones, reported to SARS. They say she should pay money to track it. She paid money, they tracked the phone, released the criminal, and refused to give the woman her phone except she paid 40,000 for the 2 phones, two for each other. And I asked the guy told me that I can go to hell. That the only person that can give him instruction was the IG. When I reported it to the Commissioner of Police Kaduna, then the man, even they delayed it. They said I needed to fill a form, visitors form, then wait for my appointment. And I looked at the heap of appointment and I asked, these ones, when were they from? They said, these ones, some of them have stayed here for 2 months. And I decided not to. So I sat down. The man came out. I said, excuse me, sir, I wanted to talk to you. And the man said, go ahead. And I reported it. He ordered for the man's arrest. He was on his way to Zaria. He handed over to the Assistant Commissioner of Police in police headquarters in Kaduna here, and left for Zaria. And the man called me to his office and said, why do you want to sack this young man? Let's just give you these phones and allow everything to go. So you cannot say it's not organized. The police hierarchy is part and parcel of this, and that's why we do not believe them. Even the papers they are writing this statement on is not worth the value of their statement. So if you must be sincere, you come out with clean hands. But I have not seen that. So Nigerians must continue to be on the watch. This is the first step. The government has rescinded its decision on the SARS. We do not want them. They should go to. We have violent crimes in Nigeria. Kaduna has been under siege. There are kidnappers, there are bandits. If you go up north, you have Boko Haram. Why do we have these guys terrorizing us? People have tried to ascribe all the people pushing this movement to be criminals. Now, is there anywhere in a democracy where somebody who's a Yahoo should be shot to death without trial? Extrajudicial killing, is it part of our democracy? Assuming we have all become Yahoo boys. So our systems has collapsed. We must look for a way to resuscitate it. Nigeria is on the brink of collapse. We must not allow it. Since our elders have refused to take the cue, we are going to lead the way. And nothing is going to stop this movement.
What kind of police? What kind of police do we want? I mean, yes, the police. We've talked about it, the process of recruitment and their pitiable condition, if you say, in terms of salaries and all of that. They are, we pity them a lot. And of course, again, that's while we are asleep, they are awake. Making sure that we get our sleep. So, what kind of police do we want?
The one that is functional, the one that works for citizens. I don't know how many people today that are comfortable to go and report crime and point to people and say, this is the person I think that is the criminal, this is the person, without getting in return being killed for information that he has provided, being given back to the criminal that he has reported. So the police as of today has lost the trust of the citizens. And if the citizens cannot trust police, there is no hype. Even giving information to help the police to check the society is impossible. So because there is going to be a bilateral support. The citizen provide information, the police act. But in a place where you cannot trust that the information that you have given will not be used against you, how do you make headway? So the problem, we have talked about recruitment, but who are these people that are coming in? We have former, in Nigeria today, I'm not sure you have a database of the criminal records of police officers. And it's not a system you can say you cannot check. These people go about using POS. The issue is that, can you go and buy POS in the market? Are they not given from banks? So is it that you cannot trace it? This money that are being transferred to people's accounts, is it that you can? So the police has not done anything. You can quote me anyway. They have not done anything to slow this down. So if they are getting now that the people are tired and we say we no longer want reform, get it off.
Are we getting a police system that's one is different from another? I mean, the regions that we have, south, east, west, and all of that. Are we getting different policing and policemen?
I think yes. If you go to the southeast, for instance, is a policed state. If you're going from Enugu to Maya, you meet over 50 police checkpoints. Mr. Toyi, you drive around Nigeria. How many do you meet in Kaduna on the streets? So why do you police a particular place different from any other place?
And why are they different? I have to ask you this, Lawrence, because I come in contact with them and I meet very friendly policemen on the way who would wish you well as you go. And then when you go out of, the regions we are talking about, you see very unfriendly police. And that's why I'm asking, do we have them different from the regions and from the zones?
No, I don't think that they treat you differently here. Here is your comfort home. Everybody knows about Tony Alabi. The way
no. My name is out. Yeah, but I'm just one that.
You are the only one who thinks that they don't know you. They know you. I'm telling you. 2 weeks ago, I had an encounter with this SARS, and I was ready. They said, you want to waste your time? I said, yes, I have. It's a Saturday. I have my whole time to waste. So let's go to your police station so that you tell me what my crimes are. And when they knew it was bad business, they allowed me go. But for the other person, is it going to be that lucky? I have had many encounters of this SARS in this town, and I know what it's about. Forget about what people tell you is this. No, it's the same thing. It's the same people that are recruited. The problem is that they gauge the mood of the nation. You come to Kaduna, you gauge it. You go to Zamfara, you gauge it. You look for where you are comfortable committing your crime. So it's not a matter of location, but we are saying that there is a systematic policing of one region over another one, which is also fueling this suspicion and hatred amongst us. So if you look at the police system, they really need to get their act in order. The way it is today is not the way it's supposed to be. I grew up in Nigeria that worked, or maybe that fairly worked. Maybe you grew up in the one that worked. Maybe I saw the few goods in Nigeria. What can you point out in Nigeria today that is good? I grew up in communities where people hand over their children to police and say, we do not trust this guy, we do not understand. Can you still do it today to police without police using the same guy to come and kill his parents? We keep seeing this over and over again. So we are not exaggerating, they are our system. So but how do we continue? Don't forget that this generation, these millennials, they have not seen any good in Nigeria. So the limit of what they can take is limited. And that's why you are seeing the movement, because they have not seen anything work in Nigeria, and some of them travel out and see people working. I am not saying by any stretch of imagination that there are no bad people, but I think that there are ways to deal with bad people. I have been asked to hand over my phone and open it a number of times. I stood my ground, but I could have been killed. Let's be sincere. I could have been shot.
But people that came out, the confrontation that we saw, and it went viral too. We saw people ready, to face the bullets and all of that. What did that show about, the coming days and years for a country like Nigeria?
That's why people are tired. Let me tell you, a lot of us are dying without even knowing it. You'll be a hero if bullet kills you. But hunger is killing us, starvation, unemployment, diseases are killing us. Illiteracy is killing us in Nigeria. So it's about governance. It's about failure of governance in Nigeria. So what you saw on the street is people's anger against their servants. Because you don't send your servant and your servant becomes richer than you. You don't send your servant in a house that you live with your servant and your house become inaccessible to you while your servant occupies. That's what we see in Nigeria. And there's a limit to what people can take, especially the young people. We have seen we trended over 30 million on that hashtag NSAS. It was trended all over the world. The only thing that has been compared to it is the Black Lives Matter movement. So it's telling you, if people abroad are now joining forces, then you know that there's a problem.
Lawrence, don't forget.
In devoid of political participation, there was no PDP, no APC. The normal thing. It's devoid of religion. There was no Muslim, no. It's devoid of the North-South divide. Even when they tried to bring it didn't work. The few miscreants who were protesting process in Zamfara, who gave them a hoot?
Aren't we all frustrated? Even the police, aren't we all frustrated in this society as it is?
And I think that even the police leadership should thank Nigerians. Because what we are trying to do is to call attention, including to their pitiable condition. And that's why I said that the government saw it as an affront. It wasn't an affront. It was a way of fixing the system. Now, but in that same police system, you have people who are junior officers who live like king. You have the other ones who are hardworking people who live pitiable conditions. So how do you reward hard work in Nigeria? Because it looks to me that you reward indiscipline and punish hard work. And that's what the question people are asking. It's not about the IG. It's not about the president. It's about the system that we can no longer trust. A system that is meant to police you, that is now terminating young lives. In 2020 alone, over 80 people have lost their life to this massacre by SARS.
In the coming arrangement, as we see it now, we're told that the NGOs will be involved. There will be police public partnership in the new arrangement that will come. What difference would this make? What are you seeing out of this, of this reform?
I think that the major thing is that we should decentralize the police. I don't think that the governor of Kaduna should stay here and the IG post a police commissioner to him.
He should choose his own IG. His own police commissioner.
Of course, or the community choose sheriffs. If the communities are choosing sheriffs, they choose people of integrity. Because it's their security they are entrusting to the man. So it's beyond getting civil society. It's about laying down a framework that can make our country work.
We've asked for state police in all of this.
So that the question should come back on the table. And that's why I told you that this victory of the Nigerian youth is the starting of good things in Nigeria. So the politicians should beware. Because the rot in the police is the same thing they rot in public service. Who are the senators? Who are the members of reps? Who are the members of the House of Representatives? Who are the governors? What are their pedigree? What are their integrities?
How did we get them there?
So that's the issue. Is the same way we got these guys into the police. And Nigerians are saying enough is enough. We cannot continue like this. People must begin to, and the good thing about it is that the advent of social media has made accountability easier. You saw how over 30 million people around the world were mobilized in less than 1 week. It would have been almost impossible. In 2012, people were paid to go to the streets. But you saw this. You saw youths calling out their peers who were not interested, and they were joining. So the politicians, public servants must begin to rethink the way they do things, because Nigeria is changing. And people are not going to lie down dying. People are going to fight, even if it takes their life.
The program is Perspectives this morning, and we're looking at SARS, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad that's just been dissolved, and Nigerians, victory, for all, as one would say. But again, in this case, could it just be no victor, no vanquish in what we've seen? But we're talking about reshaping Nigeria and resetting Nigeria in all of this process. What kind of police do we want for our society, and of course making them accountable too, and to be protectors of the citizens? We'll come back after this break.
Invicta FM.
Perceptions could change. Opinions can be formed with more and accurate information. Get all sides, views, and opinions on topical issues. Have your say on Perspectives. With Twin Alabi at 9 a.m. Mondays to Fridays on Invicta 98.9 FM. Perspectives. All sides, all views, all individuals are welcome.
Welcome back. It's the program Perspectives this morning, and we're looking at SARS and its dissolvement. Government has now taken it on itself to dissolve SARS and to reorganize and reconvene, and of course reform all that led to its dissolvement. But what are we expecting in the future? Would anything change? Some people are saying nothing would change, but again, optimistic that some things would change. There have been stories going around about the police and their activities, some frightening, some just taken with a pinch of salt. We hear all sorts of things at recruitment stage, and like the politician would want to go put all his money into making sure he gets elected. Policemen now, or those at the recruitment process, would put in anything or would look for all the money, and of course as soon as they come in they want to recoup. And of course we've been told that all sorts of assignments are given to the police right now, so it's becoming frightening as it is. And the kind of reforms that we would want would be one that would suit the society, and of course make the police play that responsible role that we know them to play, to be our friends and of course protect lives of the citizens. Lawrence Obewe, convener of Research Nigeria, my guest this morning, and we're taking a whole picture of what has happened and what led to that. Lawrence, in all of this, again, we saw the President Muhammad Buhari had come, to talk about it even before the dissolvement. But Nigerians, some Nigerians are saying that they expected more from the President. From what angle would that come from?
No, all the president said was that they are doing all that is possible to reform the system, that Nigerians should be patient. But the question is, do you cure cancer? You cut it off. As I said, on many occasions, this government has promised that we are going to do this, we are going to do that, we are abandoned, we are that, and nothing has happened. So once you lose public trust, you are in problem, serious problem. The citizens can no longer trust the police system. They can no longer trust even their own government. Because if you have a government that is giving directives and people are flouting it and no consequences, how do you believe the next time they give directives? So what I'm expecting in police is the fact that luckily they said they are going to engage people. We have cut this off. No SARS. In fact, they need to be weeded out of the system, because they're already used to this kind of behavior. Any place you redeploy them to, they continue it. So get them out of the system. When governors ban Okada, they don't turn them to bus drivers. They get them off the streets. So they should get them off. Then in whatever formation they are going to form, the most important thing is that you check people. People have called for sacking of the service chiefs, sack this one, sack that. What they are saying is, when you appoint somebody, you give them milestones, give them indicators to let you know whether they are doing what they have asked that they are going to do or not. If, for instance, the president has appointed an IG whose only milestone is that within 1 year I want this SARS, this brutality against citizens stopped, within 1 year, we'll not be here today. Because it's either you do it or you get out, another person comes to do it. But the president practically just appoints. Go there and go and enjoy yourself. No check, nobody tells you anything. And it's the same thing in turn. The IG appoints commissioners. You go there and enjoy yourself. No milestones, nothing to achieve, no indicators to know whether the person is working or not. So we are expecting that the framework that is going to be set out for this new formation will include clear milestones with indicators to know whether you are doing or not. And that's why it's feeling that there will be an engagement of the civil society, because this is where they understand they can do that. So, but anything short of that, as I said, nobody trusts the statement, whether by the president or the administration or institutions of government. They are not even worth the tissues they are written on.
And let me take you back again to history, and I'll talk about, again, it was civilian days too. I recall the MPN days, and of course where the police was labeled as the kill and go, another special squad then.
Yeah.
Could this just come out of what is playing out now that we have SARS again, which has taken up the special thing about terrorizing or harassing the people as it has turned out to be. Are we just changing? Is it about changing the name now, or what is it? What exactly do we want to put in?
Without checks, it will just be about from NEPA to PSCN to Kaduna Electric, whatever. The symptoms are still there, the diseases are still there. So what we need to do is put up a framework to check the system. if you're a police officer, this is what you are supposed to do. Everywhere that I've worked in my life, I have always signed a contract with clear TORs of what is expected of me. I don't know which public service, maybe in Kaduna right now, I don't know. I've not seen theirs, but that's the only place that I can think that maybe something like that happens. All across the country, you just go there and enjoy yourself. So if we keep doing this method and behavior of enjoying yourself, we'll keep getting you don't plant pawpaw and pluck orange. You only pluck pawpaw. So what we are getting is what we are sowing. And as I said, it's not just about this. It's a snippet of the system. These same people, you find them in public service, whether in the army, whether in the civil service, custom, they are everywhere. Road safety, they are all there. We are having this encounter and we are having this discussion today because these are the faces that we see, even if we are not supposed to see them. Because you cannot explain to me that people who are supposed to be intelligence officers are now wearing branded clothes. And so you see them. So if you have information, you hide it because they are around. So is a lack of check, which has been synonymous with this administration anyway, that has brought us to where we are. So if you want things to change, you change the method of doing things.
Now let's talk about citizens' responsibility too. We all owe the peace, our own responsibility to play our own part. How much of it are we doing too as citizens?
Again, it boils down to trust. I asked initially, will you be comfortable to avail the police information about a criminal around your area, in your neighborhood, without fearing the consequences of the criminal coming to say, oh, you are the one that reported me, right? And we have seen it. We are not guessing. We are second guessing. We are talking about facts. Things that have happened in our eyes. So that's if you lose that's why I keep talking about public trust. Because the police cannot work without information from the public. But the public no longer trust the police to be able to avail them that information because they are not safe. They are fearing for their safety.
Let's bring you into this conversation. It is all our responsibility, and of course, we want reforms. And what would you expect? What kind of reforms are you expecting now? That again, SARS has been dissolved, but again, what reforms do you want now? And what are some of the things that you're saying as a big challenge, in police public relations? And so talk to us on these numbers: 081 40,000 989, 081 40,000 989, or 070 87 800 989, 070 87 800 989. Let's get to hear you. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
My name is Musabala.
Musabala, okay.
A very good analysis, and I think not every aspect of our society we need reforms. This police force, let me even start by condoning the victims of the police force that lost their lives during an active service to keep us safe. And let me also condone with the victim of those who were killed illegally by some few police officers. But calling for the scrapping of that, I think it's worse than whatever thing we can think of. I think we're supposed to also reforms. Every sector of the society needs reforms. We have a lot of lecturers who abuse their offices by engaging in sex for mark, money for mark. We have a lot of illegal and bad NGOs and SCOs that collect money and commit trouble to cripple a nation. We have a lot of people, a lot of medical doctors who will refer you to private hospitals than work with you in the government hospitals. There's no sector that is free. So it's just when people are hiding under this campaign for harsh exams to SNC. This issue of trust. Nowhere in the whole world that we don't have this problem of informants with criminals. Living in the most advanced country, once they get you, of course they found the group. So it's an issue that now you can talk to the police without even identifying yourself. So the entire society needs reform. And SARS will definitely, another form will come back. You end SARS, when you don't end the personnel. They are bad people. Let's try to get up some of them from there and do away with them. Let's reform it. Let's reform ourselves and let's reform the entire society. But we cannot allow to let them alone and have criminal society. Good morning, and God bless Nigeria with good leaders.
Thank you, Musa Bala. Straight away, Lawrence, on that.
Well, I think that you need to end SARS, and I'm happy that it's ended. As I said before, you don't treat cancer; you cut it off. There has been series of promises by government and institutions of either attempt to end it or to reform it. Nothing has worked. In fact, they have become more emboldened. The SARS we are seeing today are more emboldened ones than the ones we saw last year. So, as I said, we are going to have a discussion, as the government has promised, on the subsequent ones, the ones that is going to replace. But for this one, I think they were set out without frameworks for operations, and some of the things we have heard from the operations are not things that can be said on air, but they are not things that any Nigerian should be proud of. So when the discussion starts for the next one, a very excellent point. The whole country needs reformation. Whether, and I said it here, whether it's education, anywhere you go to, is the same behavior. It's a reflection of what the society is. And again, that calls to question, what are we doing about it? Every nation, the foundation, the support system is the educational system. But it's the one, as we speak, lecturers on strike, students are at home, and they say when the idle mind is the devil's workshop. So if we cannot get our system to function very well, then this is what we get. But for SARS, it is good that it has ended.
Still with your calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Comrade Man.
All right, Comrade Gabriel.
I think one of the best good things there that the president has spoken. For the first time, our president is saying that he's going to look into an issue. I think congratulations to President Muhammadu Buhari for saying that. So another thing is that don't you think the low payment of police, because I'm sure if the civil servant and others, nobody is being paid well. If people are being properly paid, don't you think they will act very well? Sunday, we still remember the date of Sunday. They will say this is our police IG that we are working very hard, sir. What we are saying is that appointment of IG or other service chiefs will not be on politics, it will be on merit. So that these people will act and work very hard, just as you are getting saying. All we want, Nigeria wants, is let them work very hard. And anytime they are going out of their system, and the Nigerians are trying to work now, they should try to intervene. The government or the president of that place at that time should try to intervene and reorganize, just as we are calling on the service chiefs, sir. The service chiefs, they should do. One of us say they are not working, they work quite already. But the time has reached that they're supposed to give chance, so another new idea will come into the system, so that we can be able to know that this country is moving forward. That's all everybody is asking for. Thank you.
Okay, on that, Lawrence.
It's difficult to say. As you say, I don't think it's a question of salaries and remuneration, because I don't think there's any sector that is enjoying itself. I think it's a character issue. I think it's a systematic issue. It has nothing to do. The teachers are not all stealing because they are not paid well. The civil servants are not all stealing because there are still good civil servants. But this is about an institution.
But there are still good policemen.
No, the institution itself doesn't support anybody. As I said, what is the reward for hard work in the Nigerian police? What is the reward for indiscipline? So if you are now rewarding indiscipline and punishing hard work, then it's a systematic thing. It's not. It's character issue, and we have seen it across. But I can stay here and list over 200 cases of what happens around these SACs, including the institutions that are supposed to check them. So it's an institution thing. We are calling on government, and one of the things that this is bringing out is the poor service culture in across Nigerian institutions. The police is supposed to be a special force, but in Nigeria today is almost the one they used to swear for somebody. May you be a policeman, and you say God forbid, and that shouldn't be, because policing is supposed to be the pride of citizenship. But today people are not interested because of the way they are treated. If you go to their quarters, if you see the kind of places they live, even the ones that are fell in the course of service, if you go and see the PTA condition of their families, so sometimes it gives you impression that there is justification for their activities. But again, we know that criminality cannot be justified.
Still with your calls? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Adia.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Elder Korosin Baku.
Elder. Let's say you.
Yes, this issue of the disorganized or council tax is not the best thing. That is my view.
NSAS is not the best.
Lawrence, you are talking truth, but you are diverting. You see, in every organization there must be bad eggs, and those bad eggs should be fled out. If they are in this section and they find out that they are not doing good, they should remove them, change them, not to cancel the section entirely, because it is criminals that are not happy with this tax. If you are not a criminal, you will be happy, because they are keeping only criminals, and the criminals, they are the ones that came out and protesting. So many of them are criminals because they don't want them to be put to justice. That's why they are coming out and then trying to scratch out this section. This section is a good police is a good organization. Every country they trusted policeman. Anywhere you go in the world is policeman. And the federal government are not treating them well. There is no better salary. There is no, if a policeman stand on the road, no pure water will be given to him, except those drivers that are no pure water. The local government chairman, the state government, nobody supply them with anything. After they will say they are paying them salary. The rain will finish on top of them. The sun will finish on top of them. If they are sick, they use their money. And the family are at home, hungry. So I want you to look at this and then, Lawrence, talk truth. It is the criminal. Criminal doesn't want them to be faced out. That is why. That's my own view.
All right, Elder. All right, Lawrence, you just address that.
I think I just wish him well.
He doesn't want an end to SARS because
So I suspect maybe he's a policeman. That's what I suspect. But I think he's entitled.
No, but again, Lawrence, from what we saw, again, the protest, we saw that street urchins, it was taken over by never do well in the society. We saw some of that, even if it was
is a tired society. Is an unemployed society. But I don't think we can take away the fact that there is a systematic problem why everybody has gone to the street. The other ones that join, even in political campaigns, most times you can get people who you don't expect to be there. So I think it's a street thing.
Okay.
But he's entitled to his opinion, and I think we need to respect it as well.
Well, again, this just came in. And tying it to what is happening, I don't know if we could link this up with SARS. This may not be it, but again, as we speak now, I just got reports that the police have mounted a roadblock close to House 50 in Barnawa High Coast, and they are collecting money from Okada riders.
It's a normal thing.
We don't know. Is this all?
That's what we are saying. So that's what we are saying. Just yesterday, the police came out and say this has happened, and this morning, the ones in the station, the DPO has sent out his own to go and collect the money. So that's what I'm telling you. That except we.
No, but we do not know this. That the DPO would do that.
No, but is he not accountable to the police people under him? So where are they? I don't like covering the truth, or I speak it the way it is. If you give me staff that are under me, this is Invicta. Most of these staff are under you. You should know where each of them is at any point in time. So if you're a depot of a station and your police people have left and you don't know where they are, and you are telling me he's not the one that sent them, I don't know what is further from the truth other than that. So that's the problem, and that's why I tell you that Nigerians don't trust this system. Here they are telling us we've disbanded this extortion has stopped. Less than 24 hours, we are getting a report. If I told you this, you would have said, it's civil society. That's what they said. But somebody has sent you this text message to say it. So, and can you go and verify? If you go to the Gwari Avenue, you probably see the SARS there. So these guys have made it a lifestyle, and that's why I said we needed to end it, because it has become a life for them. They are used to it. The lifestyle their lifestyle is being supported by this criminality. So it is difficult. Once you have a cancer, you cut it off. You don't go to hospital. If you go to hospital, you waste money. We have been on these reforms for so many years. Nothing has come out of it. And that's why the best thing is to cut it off.
We're still taking your calls. Can take one or two calls before we bring it to a close. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, Adam's calling from
Adams, let's hear you.
I am your first time caller.
Okay.
I feel so bothered about this issue of tax. It be banned. I don't think it's a good idea. Just like the last caller said, you know, these people, they are after criminals. And you know, people don't really get comfortable when they find that there's a thing that's hindering them from continue their act. You know, the people who they are catching, then they said they know these people who are involving in this act of what is it called?
Criminality.
So then the such people, they know them. Sometimes some of them are so stubborn that even though they want to handle them, they don't want to listen. Like I saw something that was put on the social media. My friend was killed because he refused to unlock his phone. Why can't he just unlock his phone when you know these people are authority? They caught you and they asked you to bring your phone, unlock it, let us see what information are there for us to be able to know whether we will let you go or not. But he refused. So I'm not there to know whether that was actually the main reason. But I think ending search is not really the solution because
I don't think you should unlock your phone for anybody. A court order is what you need to unlock your phone. It's not part of police work to ask you to unlock your phone.
So, but what I'm trying to say is that if they ban these people, their facts, criminal will increase more. But I think this is a behavioral something like just like you have said, and I want us to look into it. Maybe they will caution them on the way to handle the issue, not that they will ban the
Well, we're having different strokes, different fruits now. I guess this is what is coming out. Good conversation.
I love the fact. I think that his major worry is that what happens, what is the gap, which is the normal worry for every citizen. I think the police itself has its work cut out. I don't think that police will stop working if there is no SARS. The SARS we are talking about are less than 10,000 in population. The police force is over 400,000. So it's not the citizens' work to police a nation, it's the police work to police a nation. And police will look for the best way to police a nation. But we cannot tolerate that citizens will now become endangered because police. There is no doubt you have criminal elements, even if the other one has banded all of us criminals, it doesn't matter. If you have criminal elements in the society, but police must look for a way. And as I said, there is nowhere in a democracy, there is nowhere under our constitution that somebody who's a criminal should be judicially murdered. You must take that person through the criminal court system, get convicted, and the court decide what. But when you kill the person extrajudicially, that's nonsense.
Okay, we'll squeeze in this one call and then bring it to a close.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
The banning of the farm.
Your name, please.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Okay, Elizabeth.
I think the banning of farm for the spend time is a good one. But I have a question to ask. Many states have resumed school. What is keeping Kaduna State from not resuming? We are not hearing rumor that school will be resumed January. Are they not going to try the same senior WAEC and junior WAEC with all the next year? Please, we are pleading to the Honorable Governor to open school. You should consider the flight of the private school teachers who have not been paid for how many years? Thank you.
Okay, wow. How this is tied to the conversation today.
His governors, I think she has passed her message. We hope that the appropriate quarters are listening. Okay. I'm not sure that she should be shut out because it's outside the conversation.
All right. We'll take it. Your last line, Lawrence, on this.
I think that first of all, you thank the president that he has listened for once. then you thank the police leadership for also doing the needful. But they must also know that this is just the beginning. It's a long walk, and citizens are there to follow the process through in whatever they are doing. I think that the onus is back on the police to be able to reorganize itself, to make itself effective. The citizens have lost trust. For them to begin to rebuild that trust, that would be their biggest responsibility now.
Well, and we're also hoping that with the reforms and what will come out in the coming days and months, it will be the best, for the nation. Lawrence Obewe, thank you for coming on the program.
Always.
All right. And Dorcas Bagaya, thank you for connecting us with the people. Wisdom, thank you for putting us in the pictures. We were talking about SARS and, of course, end SARS. It has ended, and we're hoping that something better would come out of it. To all of you out there, good morning. Have a wonderful day.
Invicta FM.
On FM,
Online.
on your mobile,
And on digital radio.
we have no mediocres.
No mediocres.
Only the best. Invicta 98.9.
For we country, na different kind special people buckle inside. Na im be say only one size or one formula wey go fit everybody sam not dey, especially for sleep matter. That's why they make Muka Tanda special for you. Whether you be mama, papa, small pikin or even young boy.